Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. Good morning, guys. Welcome to another market open stream. Unfortunately, the FTX Contagion is still spreading. Today we have Gemini, or at least their partner, Genesis, has decided to pause Bitcoin and crypto withdrawals. So what is this about? How big is Genesis overall? Is Gemini in trouble? Well, let's talk about all these things and more. And plus some economy stuff too, which I think is important. So welcome, guys. Good morning. We have 3 minutes before the market bell, and everyone is still talking about SBF. Robert Kiyosaki calls FTX the Bernie Madoff of crypto. I think that's a pretty fitting name. Even though last night, I covered what Kevin O'Leary thinks. He still thinks SBF is a good guy and he would invest with him again, which is such a weird thing to be saying afterwards. But I think most people agrees with Robert. They don't believe SBF is a good guy. He made a lot of crucial mistakes that led us to where we are right now. And unfortunately, the contagion is still spreading. So Genesis crypto lending unit is halting customer withdrawals today in the wake of FTX collapse. So many people are not familiar with Genesis. I've heard of them in passing. Basically, they're another lending company like BlockFi or Celsius, and they primarily work with institutions, not so much on the retail side. But because they are partnered up with Gemini, they're the ones powering Gemini's Earn program. So a lot of you guys may be on Gemini. They're a smaller exchange in the US, but very secure. And all these interests that they offer, well, that's from Genesis. Genesis also is quite huge themselves. They actually own CoinDesk, and they're very much involved with other things in the crypto space. So they are quite big. But the fact is, or the fact remains, that them shutting down withdrawals is not good. Not good at all. That means there was some kind of connection, whether or not they had a lot of deposits on FTX or a bank run was happening and they couldn't withstand it, right? We know bank run has been happening on several other exchanges like Crypto.com. Seems like for now they have withstood it, and others like KuCoin and everyone else, right? But overall, they all seem okay for now. But no one was paying attention to Genesis because they're really kind of behind the scenes. So of course, this doesn't look good for anyone. It doesn't look good for Gemini especially because right now, as an exchange, right, you don't want a bank run to happen. You don't want to cause more FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt that forces people to withdraw more. And this could not have come at a worse time for Gemini, right? Keep in mind that, again, this is with their partner Genesis. That's a market bell. Not Gemini themselves, okay? Gemini is not stopping withdrawals. They want to make that clear distinction, but however, they did partner up with Genesis and offer this Earn program, and that is what is in question right now. But if you look through their official tweets, we're working with Gemini team to help customers redeem their funds from Earn program as quickly as possible. This past week has been incredibly challenging and stressful time. We are disappointed the Earn program SLA will not be met because it's 5 days. We will continue to work with them on behalf of all Earn customers. And most importantly, this does not impact any other this does not impact any other Gemini products and services. They have a full reserve exchange and custodian. All customer funds held on Gemini Exchange are held one-to-one and available for withdrawal anytime. By the way, I just noticed that not only on Twitter there's a blue check mark, there's another check mark underneath that says official now. So I guess that's a new thing. So you get double verification on a side note. But yeah, so that's the latest that's happening. Okay, so do I think Gemini is in trouble right now? No, but a lot of people will look at this and say, hey, you guys should have known better. And a lot of people will be very unhappy with Gemini. So there'll probably be some withdrawals. But do I think there's going to be a bank run and a collapse? At this point, no. As for Genesis themselves, we have to wait and see what else is affected. Because like I said, this is just their lending unit. Genesis itself is huge. Okay, they are absolutely huge. Like I said, they own CoinDesk and they own, I believe, they're into Bitcoin mining as well, and of course lending and a whole bunch of stuff. So we will see, I guess, as the days go on, what's truly happening with them. All right. So unfortunately, the contagion is still spreading, all from one company's collapse, and people are wondering what we should do with SBF, because right now he's still sitting pretty in the Bahamas under lockdown within his mansion, right? And authorities from both countries, since the U.S. is looking at this very seriously, the U.S. Justice Department, the SEC, the CFTC, and possibly even the FBI is looking into what happened, what transpired, right? So they're thinking about extraditing him into the U.S. for questioning, and maybe permanently, right? And he won't be in a comfortable position, not in a $35 million mansion. So that's also happening, being talked about right now. Okay, so that's the latest with the FTX drama. Something else that's kind of related, kind of not. I just saw this broke too, so I want to talk about it. But obviously the other big project that collapsed before FTX was Luna. So it appears that after the audit that has been ongoing since May till now, whatever authority's been looking at it, it appears that Do Kwon and team were actually telling the truth in terms of spending money to defend the peg. We know that UST got depegged. Now we know that SBF and FTX has something to do with the depeg. May have been an accidental thing, but whatever the case, they did start it. But after the whole depeg happened, the Luna Foundation guard said they spent $2.8 billion to defend it. Now, a lot of people didn't believe it, thought that maybe, they were taking funds away or this and that. No, they spent $2.8 billion in total, Bitcoin, stablecoins, to try to maintain that peg that was within their reserves. On top of that, Terraform Labs also spent $613 million of their own funds, basically their profits, to defend the peg too. So if you add it together, they spent $3.4 billion to defend the peg, but it wasn't enough because UST at the time was still like 6 or 8 billion, and it just wasn't enough money, right? But I thought that was interesting. Even though that's the case, the South Korean authorities still think that something fishy happened. So they raided Do Kwon's partner, his other company, Chai Corporation. So this is Daniel Shin, I believe. They raided his home, raided his company now for more information. And of course, I bet they're itching to talk to Do Kwon, who still claims that no one is after him. No one wants to talk to him. He's sitting out in the open, yet no one really knows where that open is. So I don't know if that's the truth, because his counterparts are getting roasted right now in South Korea. So there's that. All right. So besides the contagion, besides the bad news of these projects, you know what? Bitcoin is still here. It's still here. I saw a great interview. People told me to go watch Anthony Papagliano's interview on CNBC yesterday. It's on his own channel. You guys should all watch it, right? He made some great points. Bitcoin holders, the HODLers, the HODLers are not deterred by this, okay? Bitcoin is different. It's a different animal, different beast. It's a decentralized network, decentralized payment. It's a store of value. It's a hedge against inflation, whatever you want to call it, right? There's no one person, one entity, one country, one bank that controls it. It's different. And Bitcoin has seen through some bad times, very, very bad times, but the holders stay strong. Over 66% of holders continue to hodl Bitcoin. The addresses continue to go up. I've shown you guys these metrics, for a very long time. These measure the fundamentals of Bitcoin, and they continue to get stronger. And the miners. Miners are sending less Bitcoin to the exchanges since the 2020 halving. Miners are still increasing their hash rate. They're not giving up, despite the fact that I know some miners have to sell because Bitcoin's at a level where they just have to in order to pay for operations. But most miners that have reported recently that have been publicly traded, they're saying, hey, you know what? We're hoarding and keeping everything. So these are all fantastic things. Tim Draper, also one of the biggest Bitcoin bulls out there. You don't hear about him much, but he still believes 250K Bitcoin for 2023, which is only next year. He still believes that that can still be a possibility right before the next halving event or the halving event in 2024. Give or take 6 months, but he still believes that is the case. And of course, all these other metrics and on-chain stuff that I've been showing you guys still indicate, man, right now is a fantastic, fantastic buying opportunities, just like all the previous bottoms, just like all the previous scares that we had. And we had a lot of scares previously. So don't give up, guys. Stay strong. And take a look at this. Number of addresses above 1 Bitcoin is flying up. So part of the fundamentals I was talking about. Not only are the big boys still stocking up OTC behind the scenes, but the HODLers, the HODLers, the new retail investors coming in, they are buying. So stay strong. All right. Now, lastly, just some economic stuff. I usually lead off with it, but, recently there's so much FTX Contagion stuff. So that has to come number one. But as for the U.S., it's looking, a little reddish today, and that's because Target just got absolutely hammered because Target warns of weak demand, right? Exactly what Powell wants, right? Right now, we haven't talked about Powell for a while. Seems like it was so long ago, but we still do have to worry about a rate hike that's coming up in December. So that's coming. So everyone's still looking at whether or not inflation is tapering out or if it's increasing, what's happening with the labor force, what's happening with wages, what's happening with overall consumer demand. We're starting to see it. It's starting to crumble, right? Target is not doing good. Amazon's not doing good. Somehow Walmart said they're okay, but most retailers are seeing demand go down. Even with the mortgage coming down a little bit, the demand is still down, right? This is part of Powell's plan. But is he go overboard? Is he go too far reaching and the demand drops so low, then we actually go into a deep recession, possibly one that's the worst that we have seen for decades. Hopefully not. And it's not just the U.S. I saw this. UK's inflation hit 41-year high. It jumped a full percent from August or September to October. So it was 10.1%. It jumped to 11.1%. And many people think that this will continue on. So UK inflation is definitely worrisome right now. All of Europe's inflation is worrisome right now, right? Because the war is ongoing and winter is starting to hit, right? How are countries going to survive without that Russian gas and oil? We will see. But the good thing is, it seems like that World War III moment from yesterday may be gone. I don't know, at least temporarily. Hopefully it never comes. But Poland says the missile that hit and killed 2 people were actually from Ukraine, not from Russia. So good thing that this is not escalating. So that's good. So we're a little bit farther out from World War III, I guess. All right, guys. As for that, Bitcoin is still holding. You know, we're having a hard time. It seems like the bears are making a stand at 17K. Every time we hit 17K, we drop down. Right now, 17K is the new ceiling we need to break. And the bears are trying very, very, very hard to keep Bitcoin under. But once we break it, and we will, right, then we will see some good recovery. But right now, it's just 70K is like that point that the bears do not want us to get above. All right, guys, let's do some Q&A. All right, scrolling up. Neilish, appreciate the super chat. Someone saying this is bigger than Enron, bigger than Bernie Madoff. As for FTX, it could be. In terms of dollar amount, it could be a lot more. Crypto bro, you've been live streaming like a champ during all the drama. I personally appreciate the work to keep us informed. I appreciate that. Thank you. I try to do what I can. You know, overall, I want to report, but also keep you guys in the game, right? I don't want you guys to be giving up because, man, sometimes it's tough. Luckily, I've been through some of these times, but I recognize a lot of you guys haven't. And, you know, it's hard to go through these periods, but, you know, that's the main thing. Is keep you guys motivated, keep you guys focused. Daniel, good morning. As a self-admitted Cardano fan, why do people still cling on Sol, for example, and settle for its downtime when other protocols, including, in addition to Cardano, offer better reliability, community, and innovation? Well, there's a couple reasons. Number one is they're bag holders, right? So that's the obvious thing. And number two is, well, you can't just pick on Sol just for that. There's downsides to basically every project. Sol guys have been saying Cardano has no use case. So, you know, there's downsides to both, right? But Cardano definitely, I do think, has more loyalty. You just look at the number of stakers, the number of people that believe in Charles. The NFTs are doing okay, but the DEX ecosystem, DeFi ecosystem is definitely weaker. As for scaling, also nowhere near as good as some of the other projects, right? So no project is perfect. But right now is not a time to be bashing or attacking Solana. Because Solana got caught with this FTX drama, right? They had a huge downturn. But, you know, right now is the time to be coming together, not pushing away, right? So that's kind of how I see it. Can you look into Waves protocol, please? Waves is not something that I'm interested in. I've looked at them before. They're kind of very old school. Very old school. They're like a Gen 1.5. They had a really weird DEX setup. Just not something that... And there was a lot of talks about manipulation and so forth in 2021. And there were some weird times when it just all of a sudden pumped for no reason. So, yeah, Waves is not something that I'm paying attention to. Noel says Kevin said what he said because he's just protecting himself because at this time is losing credibility. It's not good. What do you think? I mean, that's the only logical reason, right? There's no way in hell, I believe. Let's say if SBF doesn't go to jail. He has a new idea for a new exchange. There's no way in hell Kevin O'Leary would give him a dime towards any new venture. There's no way in hell. He's not, there's no way he's that reckless, right? But so that's why I don't get what he said. Even though yesterday, and you could see it on Rand's interview, he gives all the stipulations afterwards, only if this is to happen. But still, no one would give him a penny after this. So I don't know what. I guess, yeah, it's just try to protect his credibility or his decision making. But now people are questioning his decision making even more after he said that. Brent asked, do you think customer funds of Celsius, FTX, BlockFi will be returned during the next bull run when prices are higher? No, I don't, because there's major holes in them, holes that will never be recovered. So it depends on who buys them out and then how much they distribute. I don't know. The situation with BlockFi, it's early, but it seems like BlockFi is in a better position because they say they have everything. They have all the assets, but they have major still ties with FTX because of that whole buyout thing. So BlockFi maybe can still pull through. Maybe, maybe they can still pull through. Maybe they can still get a suitor. But it's not helping that this happened. Genesis, their lending unit is halting, right? So even if BlockFi is doing well, someone like CZ, I don't know if he's going to be buying them because he doesn't want the scrutiny. These regulators are looking at this kind of stuff. So obviously these lending units still, they're very, what do you think? Oh, how do you say it? They're very... I don't know what I'm trying to say. They're just successful. No, I don't even know how to say it. Anyways, bank runs are very dangerous to them. Let's just put it that way. Chad, Coinbase says you can convert ETH to ETH staked on their platform and convert it to, yes, the synthetic ETH. Well, it's not a good idea or a bad idea. They do it on purpose because they know that people can't withdraw. So this kind of helps them in the interim. If you want to convert to synthetic and then, do something else with it. The danger is the synthetic portion maybe becomes depegged. We have seen STETH become depegged from ETH. So there's a danger there. But if not, I mean, you can do something with the STETH, the CBETH, but I don't know what else you're going to do with it. NMCT, we need a crypto government. CZ for press. No, I don't think we need a crypto government. Onion milk. Should I consider selling some BTC and buying back later in case it drops 10K under, or just hold all the way? I can't tell you what to do. And many people ask that question. Think about this. What if you sell, right? And then it doesn't drop to 10K and then it heads higher? Will you regret that decision? You have to weigh that. Also weigh the fact that what if it does and you didn't, right? The key thing is, if you don't have cash on the side and you're unable to DCA or take advantage if things get lower, well, then maybe you should think about how to fix that issue, right? So you got to weigh both sides, and I'm not telling you to do either. But I will say from my personal experience, whenever I try to do that, whenever I try to time the market thinking, okay, I should sell some off and buy back later when it's lower, it has cost me or hurt me more than it has helped me. That's from my own personal experience. Man, my nose is so itchy. Let's see. Handshake protocol. I've never heard of Handshake. Sorry. Kyle Davis of 3 Earls was on CNBC 30 minutes ago. He was attacking SBF. Everyone is. I mean, Zhu, keeps attacking FTX too, right? Try to divert the blame off of them. Regardless of what SBF did, 3 Arrows was still reckless. Celsius was still reckless. Luna was still reckless, right? So even though SBF may have been the one to pop them, but the bubble existed before SBF, so they were just reckless with their money. So you can't completely dissolve the blame off of them. I think that's what the HODLers is trying to do. Jeff Hammer, always appreciate it. Is Unstoppable Domains better than ENS? It depends. ENS is just for Ethereum-based, domains. Unstoppable Domains is a lot more. They start with .zil, but they branched out to so many .nft, .blockchain, .crypto, right? They have a lot more. They just don't have .eth, which is what ENS has, but Unstoppable Domains has a lot more NFT-based domains out there. Sam and his friends were too busy imitating Eyes Wide Shut. Only us old folks remember that movie. I still remember when that came out. I was like a teenager. Well, I guess it's true. Did I watch the Palm interview? Yes. I thought it was a pretty good one. He made some points. Kind of the points I would make, but not as eloquently as he did. Blockchain voting, thoughts? That governance, yeah. That's a big part. To give voting rights to the people and to make decisions on the future of, these upgrades and the direction of their project. I think it's good if you do it right. Gareth is, I'm not going to say anything bad about him, but he's been spreading doom and gloom for quite some time. So he may be right or he may be wrong. So I just take it with a grain of salt. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Now I have to watch the movie again. Zebrahead, staking on Gemini is fine at the moment. No, it's not. I don't know what you're talking about. Zebrahead, that's not accurate at all. Gemini's earn has shut down because it's basically it passed on to Genesis, which has now halted withdrawals. So if you're staking right now, that means you're putting it in and you're unable to withdraw, and that is not something that you should be doing right now. So Genesis is the company that Gemini works with. That's how they're able to offer the earn program. I had stocks on FTX. I hear the yes. If you have stocks on FTX, you get them back because they actually don't hold the stocks. Some other clearinghouse does. So I think if you hold stocks on FTX, you have a really, really good chance of getting it back. From what I understand, all these brokerages in the U.S., they don't actually hold your stocks. Some other clearinghouse or some kind of custodian holds it. So you should be okay with that. But then again, when does it get released to you? I don't know. Lazaro then stopped listening. It's like how the joke goes. You go to a doctor, you ask him, hey, if I poke my arm, it hurts. And the doctor tells you to stop poking it then. It's the same thing. Sats, there's too many in the top 100 for me to go through in this Q&A, man. Pay attention to projects I've been covering. Pay attention to the ones I've been DCing on Wednesday, then you'll know. Why do you know why Elio has not made a video in over a week? How would I know that, man? I don't know. I don't talk to Elliot. I have not talked to him for probably a year now. Like, unlike a lot of these other guys, you know, who all seem like they're all buddies and they all talk to each other and stuff like that, I stay to myself. I don't really talk to any of these other guys. Do Kwon tweeted. Man, there's a 13 thread. Okay, the audit I did cover, right? I did see that. So it turns out, oh yeah, and Brian Armstrong is selling some stock, which is not good. But I did cover this. So it appears that they did spend close to $3 billion plus $600 million of their own funds to try to defend the peg. He is sorry. He should have understood and communicated his risk better. Okay. Yes, many people asked for audit, so we did one. Yes. Okay. Where's the other tweets? Okay. It was my life work. There are rumors of certain agents causing the DPEG. He's referring to SBF. Yes, but we don't know how yet. I was wrong. I maintained there was no fraud. We donated what was then $3+ billion to establish this, right? Audit report addressing many of the allegations. Yes, I've covered that already. The report shows that yes. What does this matter? Yes. Basically, he's trying to say, hey, I know a lot of you guys still don't believe me. I apologize, but here's the truth. We try to defend the peg as much as we can with $3 billion worth of BTC and stablecoins and $600 million of our own capital to defend it. But it was just too little, too late. Okay. Well, these type of tweets are much better than the tweets that say, hey, you know, I'm going to throw a meetup and I'm going to pay for all the haters' trips and I invite all the cops to attend. So, much better tweet from Do Kwon. But as time goes on, we'll see who actually started the UST DPEG. Who kicked it off? Was it really SBF? You know what? It's sounding like it is. But we will see if it's really him or not. But at this point, it's too late. Luna already collapsed. A lot of people lost money. A lot of other projects went under. Now we're getting the Contagion FTX collapse. Yeah. I've been seeing a lot of Type R reviews. Have you gotten your hands on one yet? No. The dealership I work with is getting one, but they usually don't let me review their Type R. And they're trying to charge $10K above. Yeah. Not for me. It's been tough. Honda's been inviting all these other guys except me to their events, but that's okay. Because my car videos are not doing that well. I'd rather be home than streaming for you guys than being invited out somewhere to review like the new Accord or something like that. Funmaster, I try to do what I can. I don't like the new Supra. Shannon, you're asking about ITrustCapital. People have asked me about that. They still seem like they're legit. They're holding strong. They have always maintained they don't do anything with clients' assets. They hold it in cold storage. And they said they have no exposure to FTX. They had no exposure to Luna or any of the contagion that spread. You know, when Celsius and Voyager went under, iTrust was solid. Right now, they look like they're solid too. But if you have questions, give them a call. And I like to think that because they're a 401k provider, that there's more rules and regulations because they're in the U.S. And so far, they're looking pretty good. SJ, Tate versus Jake. Who you got? Well, I like to see Tate win, but I have a feeling that that fight is not going to be easy, and Jake may pull off. He's just younger. He has more experience with boxing, and he's been boxing a lot more and training a lot more. Tate has not been. He's been, you know, enjoying his social media dominance and interviews. So I don't know. I would like to see Tate win. If Tate lost, he's going to lose. He's going to lose a lot of credibility because every interview talks about his 4-time kickboxing champion and how he's so genetically gifted and all this stuff. I think it's going to humble him quite a lot if he loses. We'll see. We'll see. All right, guys, I'll let you guys go. Overall, you know, the contagion is spreading. You see on screen here, Genesis lending unit, which is attached to Gemini, is now stopping withdrawals. That's not good. So unfortunately, contagion is spreading. But like I always say, Bitcoin will recover. Bitcoin is different. And you don't want to give up on Bitcoin just because you have bad actors in this space. Okay? So smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Take care. Have a good one. Bye-bye.